Hey, ladies and gents. Hope you're having a wonderful day slash night so far. Mental wellness and proper manners aside, let's talk about Mewbot. Something I actually haven't covered for about a month now, which I guess is a good thing because things seem to have calmed down for the time being. Yeah, until recently. Before we do begin our topic, I'm going to explain a few things that some of you may not know. Copyright, copyright infringement, repos, repo licenses, DMCA, closed and open source, and the current state of DittoBot's source code. Starting off with copyright. A copyright is the exclusive legal right to produce, reproduce, publish, or perform an original, literary, artistic, dramatic, or musical work, or anything else that you can state that is your own. Copyright infringement is when another party uses content that is protected by copyright to claim as their own or use without the original owner's permission. A repo is a website like GitHub or GitLab where source code is hosted for projects. A repo license is its copyright status, which tells you how the repo can be used and is usually located at the root of the repo as a license or license.md file. The DMCA, which stands for Digital Millennium Copyright Act, is a law that was introduced in 1998 that governs the use of copyrighted works, which sites like the one you're on right now, and sites like GitHub or Discord have to uphold or they risk getting sued. Open source refers to a project or project's source code being available to the public to see. Closed source means the source code is private and not easily viewable. DittoBot's source code was recently open source under the AGPL v3 license, which allows projects to use its code as long as the code for those projects are open source as well. I will try to link some more info for each definition after the video, but with all that out of the way, let's talk about a recent incident with Mewbot. Mewbot got a new update that updated some commands and introduced some. The command in scrutiny in this video is the info command, which was called with the exact same layout as Ditto's command and even stole our emotes, which when we found out, we conveniently renamed the emote to stealing so people knew. Now, a bit of a background on emotes. When clicking on an emote, you can see what server it's from and whether or not you can use it depending on your Nitro status. As you can see, the emote's little pop-up says that the emoji is from Ditto server, aka Dittopia. As I mentioned earlier, Ditto's code is open source on GitHub, which is how they got the layout for the command. There's a link below if you want to check out the source or if you want to contribute. Now, when I personally confronted Dylee, the now owner of Mewbot, he tried to brush it off in several ways, including saying that Flame owns part of the code, which he does, but he personally supports Ditto going open source. He even sent us a license to add to the original repo where his code for duels is. Now, let me go ahead and show you some of the ways that Dylee has tried to brush it off. Here, he does mention that Flame owns a lot of the code, which isn't true. He owns part of it. Then he tries to go on and say that it was Discord's fault, and that somehow Mewbot magically can see emotes from the server even though it's not there. Thing is, with slash commands, the way they work is they work as webhooks. Webhooks can use emotes from any server as long as you have the emote's ID. That's not something I'll get into this video. Now, when I told him that the code is licensed for Mewbot under Mewbot LLC, which Sky owns, and that under copyright law he has to open source it, all he said was, lol. I don't think that's a very fitting description for breaking the law. Now, this last screenshot, he unknowingly admits that Mewbot's code is a part of Sky's legally registered Mewbot LLC as an IP, also known as an intellectual property. Now, as of this video, the update has been reverted, but the code used in Mewbot is still Sky's and Flame's code, which are licensed by the previously mentioned AGPL v3 license, which requires you, if you use any part of the code for your own works, you have to open source your own project and include a copy of the original license from the project that you took the code. So, in effect, Dylee is committing copyright infringement by keeping Mewbot closed source. So, in the end, Dylee has three options. Make Mewbot open source, rewrite it from scratch, which will probably take at least a month, if not two, or pay Sky for using her works, which is also harder than just going open source. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope I've given you some good information and a good view of the current events. I do hope that you check out DittoBot. We have a link in the description for the support server. And we don't steal code, and we are friendly. Also, please do take stuff that was in this video outside of the DittoBot server. We try to also keep it drama-free. On that note, I hope you do have a good day, or night, depending on where you are. Goodbye.